The Wizard of Oz is well known as a classic, timeless piece of art and one of the most beloved movies out there. Whether you're watching it for the 10th time or the first time, people of all ages know what it means when someone says, "We aren't in Kansas anymore." It's obvious then that memorabilia from this iconic film be held at the highest coveted slot as well. So naturally, Dorothy's ruby red slippers became the staple of the movie. But when they vanished from the Judy Garland Museum in 2005, authorities spent 13 years totally baffled, until they launched one last massive investigation to finally crack the case that had left them baffled for years. Who can forget those bright red shoes from the 1939 classic film The Wizard of Oz? The red seems even more vivid when you consider that it was the first film to make use of Technicolor. The slippers are famous for being the magical element needed to return Dorothy back to her home in Kansas. All she had to do was click her heels together, believe in herself, and recite the words, "There's no place like home." Because they were so eye-catching and played such a pivotal role in the film, there's no doubt that the red slippers Dorothy donned were the most famous memorabilia from the Culver City movie set. In fact, with a prop so important, it's common for costume designers to create multiple copies. In the case of The Wizard of Oz, it's unknown exactly how many slippers were created, but it's been speculated that around 6 pairs existed by the end of filming. So what happens to all of the duplicate props once a movie is wrapped? And more importantly, where did the 6 pairs of Dorothy's ruby red slippers end up? Well, the slippers originally remained at the Culver City lot for more than 30 years, but during a cleanup effort, Kent Warner was charged with the task of retrieving the slippers, selecting a pair to be auctioned off, and destroying the rest. But Warner had other plans. Kent Warner snuck the remaining shoes off of the lot and kept them in his private home collection. Over the years, he planned to sell them at clandestine auctions to various buyers. The Smithsonian National Museum of American History preserved a pair in Washington, D.C., while Leonardo DiCaprio purchased a pair for the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures in Los Angeles. Then, a schoolteacher won a pair in a contest, only to resell them. Warner's collection was thinning out. He sold one of the last pairs of slippers to a private collector named Michael Shaw. Instead of keeping the priceless prop in secret at his home, Shaw opted for a much grander place for the slippers to reside. In 2015, Michael Shaw agreed to loan his pair of ruby red slippers to the Judy Garland Museum in her hometown of Grand Rapids, Minnesota. He never imagined the chaos that would unfold after he made this decision. The slippers created quite the attraction to the museum in Judy Garland's hometown. Museum officials insisted that the slippers be kept in the vault overnight, but Shaw refused the necessary security and feared the slippers would be damaged from all of the handling. But then, the unthinkable happened. On the morning of August 28, 2005, one museum security guard witnessed a horrifying sight. The slippers, now worth $1 million, had been selfishly stolen from the museum in the middle of the night, unbeknownst to anyone. It appeared that the glass case which enclosed the slippers had been shattered, but somehow the alarm never sounded to alert authorities. Where have the slippers gone? Could this have been an inside job? The museum's staff was shaken to their very core, stating, "The biggest thing that ever happened to our museum was getting the slippers stolen. We were literally crying." Museum workers were questioned on their whereabouts the night of August 28th and their potential involvement with the crime. Unfortunately, there were no leads. Authorities were dumbfounded. For 10 years, authorities hit dead end after dead end regarding the whereabouts of the shoes. Theories of the slippers being thrown into a nearby lake picked up steam. This led divers to search the bottom of the Tioga Mine Pit Lake during the 40th annual Wizard of Oz festival. Unfortunately, nothing was found, and 12 years passed. It wasn't until 2017 that an anonymous source tipped off the insurance company involved with Shaw's claim, stating that they knew where the shoes were and how they could get them back. Local Grand Rapids authorities were suspicious of these sudden claims. They had a gut feeling that the caller was using extortion to obtain years-old reward money. The Grand Rapids police contacted the FBI and launched an extensive 12-month investigation regarding the potential criminal claim. This investigation involved teams from the Bureau's Art Crime Team, the FBI Laboratory, and field offices in Chicago, Atlanta, and Miami. On September 4th, 2018, an undercover operation was launched in Minneapolis, Minnesota, some 180 miles south of Grand Rapids. Details revolving around the operation were kept top secret, but it is known that the mission was a success. The slippers had been found, but the mysteries kept on coming. Although the slippers have been found, the investigation is still ongoing since authorities have yet to identify the perpetrator. As for the beloved slippers, well, their newest home is still being decided on. In the words of Glinda the Good Witch, their magic must be very powerful, or she wouldn't want them so badly. Share this red slipper investigation with your friends below.